Bonjour. I am Zanzi Man, the creator of this app called Sidebar. Wee wee woo woo. Yeah, I got it. It's been a while. You know, as they say, you don't use it, you lose it. Yeah, French accent. Sometimes the Polish accent like this and that, and it's been a while because I haven't been around my Polish friends, and Russian friends. And anyways, just want to make this quick video to introduce myself and to tell you about the coming features that I'll be adding to this Google Sheet. Especially for some of you are going to be like, oh my god, $1 a month, oh that's so much, or $20 or 30. I think it's what is it, $20? Yeah, $20 or $30 for the rest of the life. I mean, that may not be too bad. Uh, but that's why I made this video again, to see what you guys are going to contribute, and though you may think it's too high or whatever for what it does, right? Again, there's gonna be more features, and then you're gonna see what I'm building with the money that's gonna be coming, especially for those that are contributing monthly. And let's just say those that do sign up, to the subscription, especially the $1 a day. Let's just say I'm planning on gifting you guys something.
Seating or check your posture.
Sorry, that was my health app. Okay, so I don't want to make this too long. Let's get to it. All right, so one of the biggest things I want to do is make it auto open. So according to my developer, supposedly, Google just won't let you do that. So yeah, we'll figure that one out. I'm hoping so, because what I'm experiencing is that even though I created this thing because I'm so annoyed with using the bottom of the spreadsheet, right? I'm just like, wait, do I have it here? Let's see. Yeah, grid organizer. Yeah. So even though I find myself quickly going back to here because I forget about my own thing here. So anyway, so yeah, so I forget it. So if it was already open, that would be great. Every time I open up a sheet, right, it'll be an extension that already basically will already trigger this. That way I don't forget. And of course I can always close it. And of course, I mean, just habits are always, even good ones have to be built, So all right, so then another thing, what I notice is that when I'm looking, they all look the same, right? So I'm like, oh, I gotta read every single one. So if I could color quote them, color code them. Right now, the way Google Sheet does it, it's just like a little thin little code on the bottom of the thing here. Let me show you. I think I have it right here. Life Organizer. Did I use this one? Yeah, see? It's a little red mark, and it barely shows, the whole thing has to be showed up. That way it's a little easier to find, right? Now, of course, there's also the sheet, right? So you can search. This is going to be a lot quicker than having to click Command F in the Mac world, and then you got to click the three dots, not this three dots, but the three dots over there to just basically, let me show you, right? So if you can click Command F, right, this will just search this sheet, but I have to click this button to go through every sheet, right? So that's why I'm just like, okay, let's make it just easier, right? Where you can quickly search you can also search for a sheet, right? You can search in the current sheet without having to click Command F, right? You just click there and you start typing, right? Or maybe even voice dictation nowadays that I'm using with Apple quite a bit. And then search in all sheets, right? So that way it's a lot quicker, right? So, and again, it'll be a combination of this thing too. So you'd be like, okay, I got the color coded ones, but maybe it's buried deep, past what the window will show you. And of course, that's why that would be nice, right? So make it not reset every time. Yeah, so that's another little thing. So when you scroll down and you click on another one, when it shows you the thing, it resets and it just shows you this. So it won't, it doesn't really move the thing to show you that's the one. The way I want to program eventually is when you click on it, even though it's on the bottom, it will move the whole window so it lines up to here, and that way you can see it. That's not a really big deal. Right now it shows all the hidden sheets as well. And, people are like, well, what about your competitors? Well, some of you probably would be too lazy to find them. There's only 2, and they take quite some time to actually activate. So let me show you what I mean. Right, you gotta go to extensions, and you gotta actually go through here and start. And it is very slow. Mine is very quickly. Boom, boom, right? So yeah, I don't know what's going on right now. He's probably doing some editing because we're about to launch live. That's why I'm making this video. But anywho, yeah, you can use it in multiple accounts, right? Especially if you're going to be the dollar people. Again, with my other systems, I plan on making a different thing where I'm going to start high in the price and then lower it as I show my life transparent of how much income, because that's the thing with digital products. It allows to scale very quickly and make millions and millions of dollars, even on a very low, it's a very low ticket price thing like this, you know. And of course, reoccurring revenue. But I know people can be pissed about the whole everything. Why is everything a subscription? Because in life, the bills will never stop, right? The way the banks have designed things, it'll never stop. And just the way life is, too. That's not really the bank's fault either. So, but anyways, Sidebar can have its own website, right? So we're basically going to either completely just mimic it, right? So you go to our website and it looks exactly like Google Sheets, but right, we're just kind of mirroring it. But obviously we would allow then for us to have it on the left instead of, you know, if we're using Google's product, it has to be on, strictly has to be on the right, right? And then the ultimate one that I did start before I kind of just, okay, I was like, okay, let me do this simple one first, and then I'll get to the more complex one, right? But the next level it is, especially for those that have never, for those of you that have always been in Excel users or Google Sheet users, or if you never experienced numbers, right? And people in numbers will also remember like basically what happened. Oh, I was supposed to pull that up, but just take my word for it, right? There'll be more videos on this if you guys request it. But basically, numbers used to have a side panel on the left. Then they decided to put all the tabs on the top. And it's just like, oh my God, they made it so much more inefficient for us that already basically, you know, got used to the left side. But what they had though was nice, was that they basically had like a whiteboard, you see, and but the problem was is that the zooming in out, just like in Google Sheets as well, it's not that smooth, right? It's not like this. I want to be able to use my scroll wheel and go like this and scroll out, right, and then see all my spreadsheets. So pretend this is like Miro, which I'm using right now, right? So that's why I said this is like apples. This is if like apples, numbers, and kid, and had a kid with Miro, right? Oh, wait, had a kid with Miro. Yeah, the apples. Yeah, something like that. Sorry, I'm tired. I've been working late nights just trying to get these other app that I'll show you. You'll see my ecosystem and be like, oh my God, right? You just you just get lost in design. But so the other feature that numbers didn't have is that you see they would color coordinate them, but sometimes they run out of color, especially if you have a lot of them, and some of these they'll just give you like a lighter shade of that color, and you're like, wait, is that it or not? And then you got to read all that stuff, right? It's labeled nicely. You can do that too, but it's just faster to be able to click a button and where these arrows will pop up, and we'll know exactly what this what these cells are referring to, right? Where are they? And so this beats. I mean, if you guys ever tried to learn how to, well, yeah, it's called the import range, right? So you can do the import range, but what if it was just visual, right? What if you had a whole ecosystem of spreadsheets, right? Which is kind of what Miro does, but it doesn't because we can't do this, and that's why this has to exist, right? And then maybe Miro can then import that, so it'll be a whiteboard within a whiteboard, you know? So that's what I'm planning on bringing you guys with the money that. So in a sense, yes, I would actually prefer all of you guys to do the $1, even though the people who are going to pay me the before the 15-day trial ends, and or you know, the basically the people who are going to do the one-time fee, whether before or after the trial ends, you know, that's, so I guess you're in a sense you're paying me, let's see, about 2 years and a half worth or whatever, something like that, right? But then it stops, right? But to fuel all these projects, you're going to need constant money, you know. So that's why I'm going to reward those that choose the I guess we could break it down. Yeah, I guess I'll reward everybody in some different way. The people who contribute every month, right? And of course there'll be an extra one too. I'll probably put a donation button eventually there, because once you guys see the project, you may want to, you know, in a sense, not invest in it in this in the classical sense, but though I am going to make it somewhat investable, you know, when it goes public, but in a whole different arena. So anyway, so yes, that's some of the features to come. Now let's get to this other part, right? So this is basically just a quick, you know, I want to give you a quick just a quick sneak peek, right? So when I say I'm building the LIO, means life in order, right? Ecosystem. I'm talking about tools, apps, and systems to optimize your life while playing the ultimate game of life. That's what I try to remember when I forget that life is a game, and I'm trying to really embrace it. as a game, and like, okay, what do I need, right? Just like, some of these, even though I don't play games at all, be like, why is Dan talking about games? Doesn't even play games. It's because I am playing games. I'm playing the ultimate game, which is life, right? And so yeah, so these are in a sense the tools, right? There's more than this, right? There's obviously, for people like me, we're gonna have CNC printers, 3D printers, all this shit, right? So big warehouse, steel stamps, just all kinds of stuff, right? To create whatever we want to create. But essentially nowadays, right, especially right now where I'm, I need to make the digital money so I can go do the hard stuff, the physical stuff, which doesn't make as much money and is very money and capital intensive, basically. Okay, so, but yeah, you definitely some kind of smartwatch, right? It could be the iPhone or the iWatch as well, whatever smart, or what is it? Yeah, iWatch or smartwatch. I don't know, whatever. Um, you know, Cell phone. Now these new AI things, right? So there's one other company that I think might beat this company, but these are two neck and neck, and I think I'm gonna have both because they're so small anyways, and I want to test them both to see which one is good. And like usual, probably I'm gonna find one thing that this other app that one pendant has, the other one doesn't, and I want to eventually have my team create something that, yeah, does I guess combines them, the best of both worlds. I like strings because people end up losing their pods, and they charge you so much for that, and so this is better. But I'm working on a product like this eventually as well. Of course, Meta glasses just kind of restarted the trend, but now these I'm following these two or three different guys that are just, yeah, they're pushing each other. It's great. It's great. But yeah, they have some really amazing ideas on the glasses that I've been thinking about for years, and they're finally executing it, right? And then when you're not traveling or whatever, right? Or you're one of those persons that just settles down or whatever. That's why I say always have a laptop, right? I got the M3 right now. Probably gonna upgrade to M4 and get as much memory as possible because this thing's beautiful. It's compared to my old computer, it's been beautiful, but I should have just gotten the maximum memory. So, anyways, so yeah, so to be efficient, you really do need these screens. It's not just for aesthetics. It really is. Once you see First of all, once you experience how to, once you create your workflow here and you see if you had to, and then you have to like sometimes go on a temporary trip and just bring your laptop, you see how much more inefficient you are. Such,
15 minutes.
such extra amount of work having to click through different windows when you can have them basically properly displayed. Might actually get one more here, um, you know, because I don't really use this stuff, and I probably gonna get something. This thing I could reroute it somewhere else or whatever, right? So I feel there's a need for one more here, and actually one more here, actually, to tell you the truth, because I still, yeah, it's just again the workflows that I'm creating are very elaborate, as you will see here why, right, to a degree. Maybe you will, maybe you won't, right? So these are the app stacks, right? This is just kind of just giving you just rough, right? I'm not gonna, this again, this is for people who hire me as a mentor, right? I'm gonna give them the exact apps for this stuff, right? I am gonna be dropping certain things for free in my weekly meetups, which I'll tell you here in the bottom. But anyways, yeah, I'm also gonna be inventing. Yeah, these are ones that I'm gonna kind of be reinventing as well, right? So you need one of these kind of apps, and these ones I think somebody already has a good market, so I don't need to reinvent those things, right? But as I get bigger, 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 I may do that, right? So, anyways, systems, right? Time, health, finances, cell phone, computer. I didn't have the pictures. I should put them in there. But, anyways, so at the end of the day, right? This is what is so what's okay. So a game usually has a point, right? What are you trying to do, right? Well, you to me, you're trying to maximize life, and when you look at what we all have in common, we more or less arrive to this conclusion, right? At one point, you're either gonna get try to get one of these. Usually, one of these is the biggest one because again, the wealth is what it is, whatever, right? The health, obviously, I mean, as much as you try, right? The body will probably still age, even though we're seeing it longer. But if the mind doesn't necessarily have a purpose still in life, it's gonna degrade, and so be it, right? Again, there's no judgment. And love, obviously, we all, well, obviously the hormones and the mating, right? And of course, yeah, obviously humans need to still do this, even if it's just for short times, which just seems to be the case, right? To pass on kids, right? So, but yeah, so like So like I said here, let me help you get one or all three, because I also realize people, you know what, they're like, I have no care for health. All I want is wealth, right? And so people are like, okay, I don't care about any of this stuff. I just want to be madly in love. And so people are like, okay, I don't care about wealth. I just want to be healthy, right? But generally, we all, I think we all, just like all, we're all basically climbing the same mountain, and eventually we kind of arrive to the same conclusions. And yeah, basically, this is what most people will eventually arrive to, right? So yeah, I just don't want to be wealthy, because without the health, it basically sucks. But ironically, nowadays, you need a certain level of wealth to even have health, right? If you're going to eat, non-poisonous food, or even move somewhere else where the food system is not so, retarded. But anyways, and of course, love, whether just, sexual or just to, pass your legacy, whatever, right? So I had that quotations in another picture, but yeah, so even though you go to my website, you may think, oh, it's just about, getting me funding or whatever, but no, just because basically you're going to need it anyways, and it's smart to use other people's money, and you should be doing that, because even if you didn't want to use it per se, but you want to actually compete in this market, you're just going to need some capital. Again, the rich get richer because they already have so much capital, right? And so you need to give yourself a little bit of leverage, right? And of course, hopefully invest it in the right thing. And that no one, I can give you my best opinion, but no one can predict that. No one can predict whatever, right? As we've seen, like, people laughed at the guy who did Airbnb. People laughed at the guy who did Chipotle, right? They were laughed at, and that doesn't mean that that's true. And then there was like WeWork. He was given so much money and it still failed, right? So yeah, all right, but oh yeah, so that's a little bit of that, right? As you can see here, these are some of the bigger apps that I'm working. Oh, sorry, right here. This one is even though it doesn't seem like much. I have most of it developed on a spreadsheet, and so I'm just laying out the stuff that I just came to the conclusion. So yeah, it's everything having to do with credit, from credit education, applying for credit cards, managing the credit cards, going for additional funding, right? Bridge loans. You can even make money with your credit cards for the money that you're not using, right? Again, don't let the money sit there. So that's what I'm creating, this whole thing. And yeah, you can see there's so much other stuff, but again, I just want to give you guys a sneak peek. It really boils down to this, right? Just making uh a systems, yeah, making things to optimize my life, right? So I can enjoy this game called life to the fullest. All right, peace out.